Hello and welcome to episode 21. It's our 21st birthday. Woo! Today, I'm so happy to introduce to you Jo Howarth, who is CEO and founder of the Happiness Club. I met Jo last year on Nikki's Mexico retreat, and we had such amazing conversations in the pool. So I can't wait for today. So welcome, Jo. Happy to have you.
Very much. Hello, I'm happy to be here.
Yay. And I love some of the things that you do on a daily basis. I absolutely love, and I always see them. And it's things like your daily glads.
Yeah, that's my
Amazing.
favorite. And I don't always, sometimes I fall asleep before I get to do them. But I do my best to do them on my social media every night. Just as a placeholder for me, so that, I get to remember what I did and what was ace about that day. But also in the hope that I inspire other people to start doing the same kind of practice, really.
That's amazing. So tell us then, what are you up to at the moment? So what's the Happiness Club all about? What's your kind of mission and your big thing and your big goal that you're going after at the minute? Because I know you are.
You're right, I am. So the Happiness Club is my membership. It's the name of my company, but it's also my membership club. And we basically teach people on a daily basis how to look after their mental and emotional health. And we do that in a variety of ways. We provide them with can I swear?
Yeah.
Obviously,
I
What
thought
do
I
you
was.
reckon?
in my podcast, our podcast.
All right, Kinsella.
I'm sorry, I'll have to keep controlling myself after this last week. Don't know who I am.
So yeah, we provide them with a shit ton of resources basically to help them do that in a variety of different ways. So it isn't about me looking after their mental health for them. It's about teaching them how to look after their mental health for themselves, because that's hugely empowering. It sounds weird, but one of my favorite things is when a member emails to cancel their membership because they feel like they can go it alone now. Thanks. That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah. That's success though, isn't it? Because that's what you're doing, is setting people up so that they can manage everything and move through life, I guess. Because I mean, you said it. You kind of said, oh well, I just do this. And it's like, it's so flippant, but actually it's so important. Mental health is like one of the biggest things at the moment, isn't it? Stress is what rules us all every single day of our lives. And if you're listening to this and you're in a busy job that you want to get out of, this will resonate absolutely 100%. And we turn to other things, don't we? Like caffeine, chocolate, alcohol, going out for a cigarette break, all of that kind of stuff, instead of actually addressing what the real problem is. Go, Nick.
I love that you've said a variety of different tools, because not everything works for everyone, does it? And some days you'll need something and some days you'll need something else. And I think for me, it depends where I'm at. So, some days we're in a real low, shitty mood, and the thought of fucking someone telling us to be happy and do what you're like, fuck off. You just need to have the tools. Yeah, Narissa's pointing at herself because we've all had a bit of a tough week last week, haven't we? We've literally shed a skin, I think, and I think it's a collective feeling. But some days we want to write it out. Some days we can't write because we're overwhelmed, and we just need to know how to process that in a safe way.
Exactly that, right? There isn't one size fits all solution with things like mental and emotional health. We're all at different stages of life. We're all at different stages of thinking. We're all at different stages of understanding. We're all at different stages of growth. And so there isn't a one size fits all. And part of what we do in the Happiness Club is talk to people where they're at. We release what we call our daily strategies every day, and different members take different things out of the same daily strategy, because it's written in such a way that whatever level you're at, level's not the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, where you're at in your head.
Wherever you are that day, there's something that you can take out of that daily strategy. I get messages from members all the time saying, oh my God, are you psychic?
Love that. Are you psychic?
Well, I'd like to be. Yeah, that would be ace.
Yeah, nice. could go down a whole different path now, this podcast could.
Oh my
It?
God, can I just share something that happened the other day? So I can't even remember what it's called, but we did this thing that they used to do in the war where they'd hire psychic mediums to see what was going on in the other army's camp. And what they do, Jess Cunningham did it with us. It's got a name and I'll find it out and put it in the things. But you literally tap into this number, and then when she's finished reading the number and you've repeated it, you draw a squiggle on the page, and then you get like a download. So I did it, thought, whatever, this is a load of shit. Fucking hell, I seen a tree by the side of a house with a view over a field with a white horse in. That was exactly what she was, the memory she was like hooking us into. So we had to try and guess what she was thinking, and I fucking got it spot on. And I just wanted to throw up all over myself, you know, and you're like, holy shit.
Oh my God.
No.
Did anyone else get it right, Nick?
No.
No, of course they didn't, because you have got that.
You have
Wow.
you tap into that anyway, don't you, in your work? So yeah.
But I didn't know I could do it like that. So it's a thing, and we're gonna book a call and she's gonna teach me how to do it.
So hang on a minute, right? Are you telling me that you can tell me what I'm thinking? This is dangerous.
Do you think
Oh
No,
shit.
that's the question, right?
what's that?
Say that again.
Me, I said, do you want to know? That's the question.
She's shaking her head.
No.
Not that bad in here, you know.
Well, I'll come back in this week if you want, but like
Hilarious.
we are so different every day though, aren't we? Just going back, like me little squirrel thought there, sorry, but just going back to what you're saying about how everyone's different and at different levels. And it's good that it's, you know, it's for men, it's for women, it's for all ages. And you can go and rummage through all the glimmers and the glads and all the things that are in there.
And exactly right. So if you, however you take your information in, whether you're a reader or a writer or a journaler or a you know, you prefer to watch videos or listen to audios, there's literally every kind of resource in there.
Wow.
So you can do it yourself. You can, you know, we've got DIY courses and things like stress and anxiety, but then we also run live webinars. So if you prefer to, like, I'm a person who absolutely, I mean, I sign up for webinar things all the time. And if I can't attend them live, I never, ever, ever watch the replay, never, because I don't have time, right? So if I'm going to attend something, so a do-it-yourself course for me is a waste of time. I've started billions of them and never finished them. If I'm going to learn from somebody, I have to be live with them.
Or in person.
Note to diary.
Right. So it literally caters for however you take your information in, whatever you do. It will answer that.
And it's so important, isn't it? I mean, I've been on a journey really the last 18 months, and my kind of mission, if you like, or goal, I guess, for me and for other people, is to find out why colitis has kind of come and hit me so hard. Because what I'm learning is that all of this stress, not just stress, but your limiting beliefs, your background, everything within yourself, if not managed properly, can manifest in physical issues. And this has been part of my journey this weekend, because I've been learning more about this and realizing that a lot of my limiting beliefs, and if I end up in certain situations, can manifest in a physical issue. And that's where the colitis has come from.
And that's it, right? And that for me, I mean, you said earlier, mental health is so important. And for me, everything starts in the mind, right? So by trade, I'm an advanced hypnotherapist, amongst other things. And absolutely everything, physical, mental, emotional, it all starts subconsciously. So one of the things I'm trained in is something called hypnohealing. So I work with people on physical issues to get to the subconscious reason why that physical issue is there in a person, right? That because there's a reason for it. It's absolutely no shadow of a doubt. I've worked with people, completely different people from different walks of life, who have the same disease, for want of a better word, And their subconscious minds have all given me the exact same reason why that person has.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example, Jo?
So I've worked with 4 or 5 people with cancer, is the big one. And every single one of their subconscious minds gave me the same reason for the cancer.
What was the reason?
Well, I asked the subconscious mind, what's the purpose of this cancer? And the answer, and it's literally to the fucking word, the answer was to slow them down.
Wow.
Every single time.
Oh,
Wow.
you know what? If I've learned anything, I've just been on a firewalk instructor and empowerment course this last week. And just, I know, yeah, just. What I mean is,
just did that.
Not just, fuck me, not just. It cracked me open from every angle, and oh my God, I've never cried so much. I've never been so scared. But unplugging, not having time to go online, not having a signal, sitting with people who were really a lot more spiritually advanced than I was. Like they'd sat with ayahuasca, and they talked about all these amazing journeys that they'd been on, and they were sitting and loving the land, and they were just like, you could feel the love just like oozing out of them. They were completely like one with the planet is all I can describe. It was unbelievable to see and feel, and even they were busy, and they were like, we're glad that we're here because we're slowing down as well. But it felt like they moved at a much more aligned pace. And that's what I've come away with. And I feel like since the last new moon, so over the last 4 weeks, I think I've said this on it a couple of times already, but it showed me everything I didn't want. I was stressed. I was getting stressed. I was spinning around. I had so many things I was trying to do, and I was worried about this and worried about that. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm creating a monster. And that's not, like, my baby's not a monster. My baby's beautiful, and my business is what I'm talking about when I refer to baby, because that's what it is, isn't it? It's always our baby. And then it just all of a sudden you look around and it's like, it's this narcissist. You're like,
But it's so easy to get caught up in the things that you think you have to do every day in order to run your own business. And I mean, I've not even consciously, because I've been on an X Factor journey for the last couple of years myself, well, for forever, obviously, as we all have, but intensely for the last couple of years, in terms of spiritual awakening and stuff like that. And I've been gradually doing less and less and less, and being more and more and more, and going with the flow of whatever I feel like experiencing in that moment more and more often. I don't always manage it, odds, I'm a human being too.
Intention though, isn't it?
It is. And I find that the more I go with the flow of what I feel like doing in that moment, the more, well, the better I feel myself, but actually the more successful I become. And allowing yourself the space to do what you've, so for instance, with my social media, which is a huge part of running my business. And like I said before, I'm a therapist. I'm not but I spend 90% of my time doing marketing and selling and promoting and admin and when I'm working. And actually a very small percentage of my time actually being a therapist, even though that's what I am. But with my social media now, I mean, some days I will post 1,000 times a day because I feel the inspiration to do that. And increasingly, I'm not feeling the inspiration to do that. So actually, I set these intentions, but with my business head on, well, I must post on social media at least once a day, blah, blah, and all my platforms about this, that, and the other, rah, rah, rah. And actually, increasingly, I'm just not bothering. Just
you find though, because you're not bothering, like the minute we surrender, we lean back, we align with our energy, we open our hearts, and our energy becomes a magnet for the right people. They're just drawn to us, and they're like, and all of a sudden you'll get messages, can I book in for this, can I book in for that, when's your next Reiki dates?
Yeah.
I want to book you for this. And you're like, where's that come from? And it's just because we've opened ourselves up instead of being in lack and that lower vibration, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, I've actively done it over half-term week. Obviously, I mean, my kids are teenagers now, so they're not that asked whether I'm with them or not. But I still sort of take it easier in the school holidays purposely. And I picked up three new one-to-one clients at the end of last week. Bang, 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 one after another. Right.
Wow.
Well, I haven't promoted my one-to-one work for months.
Just shows you, doesn't it? When it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and it'll always happen that way. Like, I've just closed my membership because I just felt like I wasn't aligned to it anymore. And the shift in energy that I've had since I've done that, and it's allowed me to be more and feel into what I want to intentionally do more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think we do that, don't we? Especially in business, we hold, well, and actually in life itself, we hold on to things that we know because we know them, not necessarily because we still want to do them or be them or have them, right? But we hold on to them because it's what we know. So, well, fuck, if I let that go, what will I be? Who will I be? What will I do?
And in all aspects of life as well. So not just business, it's like, so I hope this is okay to ask, but you've just been through a breakup.
Yeah.
Which has absolutely changed your life.
Hugely, so much. And yeah, I mean, I'm still not quite finished. I'm still going through the divorce process. But yeah, I mean, it's been absolutely devastating and unbelievably liberating all at the same time. But again, that's life, right? I get people say to me all the time, oh, you run the happiness club. Oh, okay. So you must be happy all the time. Yawn. Or they say, well, I saw that post of yours on social media and you didn't look very happy in it and you didn't sound very happy in it. You're not really like in alignment with your brand, are you? You're like, oh my actual God. So if you sit and talk to me, you'll know that for me, happiness isn't a fake smile on your face and pretending everything's okay and positive thinking and all of that. Positive thinking is absolutely positive mindset. It's absolutely part and parcel of what I teach. But that's not happiness. Happiness is embracing the whole fucking thing and allowing yourself to experience every last little bit of it, the shitty, crappy, horrible bits and the amazing, beautiful, brilliant bits. And the more you do that, the more you allow yourself to do that, as I have discovered over the last couple of years with this journey I've been on, the more you allow yourself to, as you say, Nikki, surrender into that, the more you realize that all of it's fucking beautiful.
And there's no right way to feel, is there? And we have to, there's no, like, we get taught, come on, like, suck it up, be happy, you've got to think positive and do all the things. But actually what you need to do is sit and have a fucking good cry and shift all of that shit that you're feeling and all that sadness and what you don't even know what it is sometimes because it's been there that long and it just decides it's going to come out in that moment and it just like bursts out your face and people go, what's the matter? And you go, I don't know. When they try and fix you and you're like, fuck off, don't touch me, let me cry on my own and let me shift through this. And I'm a massive believer that, like what I'm doing a retreat next week and we're going to do the Moon Nike rites of the womb ceremony, which Jo has actually been part of. We don't touch anyone that's crying. We let them release, because the minute you try and comfort someone, that makes them feel like it's not safe for them to cry or they're upsetting you. And a lot of the time we comfort other people because we feel uncomfortable.
Exactly that. So one of the things that I do, which is the last time I'm going to do it, is train people to become advanced hypnotherapists. My next course is my last one because the business is, my direction is going in a different way, different focus. But exactly that, I teach my hypnotherapy students, because obviously when you're working with someone on something deep and meaningful to them, emotion comes up. That's part and parcel of what we do. And I teach them purposely, your instinct will be to hand your client a tissue. Don't you fucking dare. Do not fucking dare hand your client a tissue ever. If they ask for one, awesome. But once they've let enough of the emotion up, then you can offer them one if you want. But do not make your first instinct to hand your client a tissue, because what you're saying to them is, it's not okay for you to release that emotion. Clear it up. Stop it now, please.
Do you know what I do? I say, can everyone just get a tissue just in case? and then they've got their own tissue because I know what's coming and they can soothe themselves.
But that it's about allowing people to release whatever needs releasing, to feel whatever they need to feel, right?
And it's safe. It's holding that safe.
Exactly. Like you've just said, I cried myself to sleep 3 nights ago. I have absolutely no idea why. Not a clue.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And how beautiful is it to get to that level where you don't need to explain why you're sad? You just let it happen because you're like, okay, this is a feeling. It's going to pass. And if something comes out of it, amazing, because you've got like a little bit of something. But if you don't, you're like, oof, thank fuck that's out. Better out than in.
And exactly, because actually it's the mind that gives that feeling the label, right? The feeling comes up and our mind instantly jumps in and goes, oh, this is anxiety. Oh, you feel anxious because of this and blah, blah, blah. Right? Your mind, because your mind doesn't cope with the feeling thing very well, it goes, oh, quick, we've got to explain this and justify it and make sure we know why this is happening. No, you fucking don't. You're just experiencing a movement of energy in your body. So just allow that energy to move through you. That is it. And it doesn't matter. And you'll notice your mind trying to jump in and give it a meaning. If you just notice that, it helps you really just to allow yourself to feel it instead of trying to make it out to be something.
Trying to label it. You don't need to label anything. I'm just laughing at Narissa because she's coming on my retreat this weekend. She looks fucking terrified. She's just been covering her face. It's okay. I've got you.
So I'm just going to ask a few questions here, right? Because you two are a little bit further down the line than me. So I've had what Nikki would describe as the inner bitch come up and sit on my shoulder or face, wherever. Let's go with Nikki talk, shall we? All weekend, the self-talk has been ridiculous, right? I've had friends dragging me out shopping, pep talk me, like you would not believe. And how do you move through that? Because I just go like literally from here, I just go down a big hole.
Okay.
And it's like getting out of that is just.
So for me, and this sounds really fucking backwards, so bear with me. For me, you allow it. Stop trying to make it better, which is what your friends will try to do because they care about you and with the best of intentions, they want you to be happy, right? But actually all you're doing by allowing the pep talk to go, yeah, fuck it, yeah, oh, I'm ace, like by allowing that to bring, all you're doing is burying the inner bitch back down. You let her come up and you let her tell you all the things she thinks you fucking are, you useless piece of shit. I'm not saying that to you.
I know.
You're in a bitch, right? But you let that come up and you actually let her have her say. And then you say to her, okay, I hear you, my love. I hear you. Thank you for whatever emotions accompanied you. I'm going to allow them to be there. I'm going to accept that these are my thoughts right now. And I'm going to accept that these are my feelings right now. And I don't particularly like what you've said to me. Some of it might be true, some of it might not be. I mean, one of the biggest things I've been doing over the last couple of years is admitting, acknowledging, and accepting parts of myself that I don't particularly like. Because we all have them, right? It isn't that you're going to ever get to a point where you're like this fucking serene Zen goddess who never thinks a negative thought and who never gets jealous and who never wants to fucking punch someone in the face for the thing they've just said to them, right? It's part of being a human being, for fuck's sake. So the key for me, I have discovered over the last couple of years, the key for me is to accept that I have that part of me and to accept that sometimes somebody on social media will do or say something that makes me go, oh, well, fucking hell, well, I'm not as good as that because I haven't reached that zenith of the height of whatever you are bragging about on social media. So shove that up your ass, right? And my brain will go off in that direction, and I realize I'm doing. I go, bless my, oh, Jo, I love you so much, you little sweetheart, you don't have to be anybody else. I saw a post yesterday with two very well-known people in my circles on social media who are much higher profile than me, and they were waxing lyrical about each other in this social media post. And I had this enormous pang of fucking hell, I want to be that. And then I just went, and you're not right now, my love, and that's okay. You're where you are, you're who you are, you're doing what you're doing, you're being who you're being, and that's all right.
It's a journey though, isn't it, Jo? We've got to remember that, like, people think, oh my God, I want to get there. But imagine just getting there. Then what? Like, we've got to have this journey, haven't we? And we've got to experience the highs and the lows and the things that we do and we don't want. Like, I feel like I'm about to pivot again and go back fully into spiritual embodiment in like a massive way. I feel like I've been cracked open and there's this like massive flame in my heart that's like, that's what you need to do. Just go all in with the spirituality and the woo and just start talking from here. And like the Healing Academy, teaching other women to become spiritual leaders, and just like, oh my God, like all my toes are like that. And it's finding that within you, isn't it? And like, what is it that's lighting you up in this moment? Where do you need to go? There's no, who is it who said, it might have even been you, Narissa, about the mountain. Like, you know where you want to get to and you look up and you go, fucking hell, I'm tired and I haven't even took the first step. But we might think that's the path, but actually, if you go round the other side of the mountain because you've gone off course, there might be steps or even a fucking lift, you know, to like another layer of you or wherever. We never know what's next, do we? And that's why being so present. Oh my God, sorry, I need to share this with you. At the end of the firewalk on Saturday, this guy stood up and he'd been really quiet, but he'd done everything. He was like in his 70s. He was called Barry and came on his own. And when I was wristbanding him, was like, who are you here with, Barry? And he was like, I'm on my own. And I was like, oh, what made you want to come? And he went, I want to try something new. And I was like, oh, okay. And he kept his answers really, really short. And I thought, that's okay. It's just a little bit, you know, but he owned part of the land. We were on Whistlewood Common and there was like shareholders and he was one of them and he nurtured the land and blah, blah. Anyway, at the end, one of the girls had been talking to him and she said, Barry wants to come up, and we did, you can probably see the bruise on my neck. We did a rebar bend. So it's like a metal bar that they put into the foundations of high-rise buildings to stop the concrete bending. We bent that on our neck. And honestly, I found it really easy. It was amazing. Other things were really hard, but Barry wanted to have a go of the rebar bend, and he stood up and he said, I've got a brain tumor and it's going to kill me. And he said, and it's pushing on the speech part of my brain. So I know what I want to say, but it affects the way it comes out my mouth. He said, so excuse me if my sentences, and he was stuttering like mad. Well, I had to sort of take a step back because the tears just came out my face. And he's like, I'm not scared of dying, but what this has taught me is that every single day we need to do something that we've never done before. We need to I've got goose pimples. We need to like constantly push ourselves out of our comfort zone. And do you know what? It fucking pains me that there's so many people that are sat there wanting to do these things and knowing that when they make this decision or take this step, it's going to change their lives, but they're so fucking scared. And again, going back to our minds, what our minds tell us and our beliefs, it's all in our head. We can do it.
It's true. None of it, not one fucking word of it is true, right? It's just stuff that we've learned when we were Diddy. We've accepted these things about ourselves and these things about the world and these things about other people that just aren't fucking true at all. And then we walk through our lives, and then when we get the inner bitch, as you two call it, sitting next to us, we, instead of allowing her to be there and allowing her to have her say and allowing ourselves to listen to it and then refute it or embrace her and reassure her, right? We just, as soon as she start trying not to hear her and start trying not to allow her to be there, right?
I actually went down the rabbit hole, to be fair, and my friends were trying their best, but I was just like, nah. You know, I was ready to jack it all in 2 days ago and yesterday, to be fair.
I cannot tell you I cannot tell you, Narissa, how many times in the last 2 years I have come this close to jacking. I've spoken to my accountant 3 times this year about closing the business, about closing my business and fucking it off. Because that's the journey, right? Because you get to that point. February this year for me was just devastating, just awful. Every fucking day was horrible. And I spoke to my accountant about closing my business. I was gonna jack in my house and everything. I was just like, fuck the lot of you, just fuck off and leave me alone. That's how I felt in February. But I also knew, thank fuck, at the back of my head, this is the work. You come through. The only way through something is fucking through it. It's not by ignoring it. It's not by pretending it's not happening. It's not by trying to make yourself feel better. It's by going through it.
And it's scary as fuck, isn't it?
Shit scary, which is why I will always be a massive advocate of having someone hold your hands. What the Happiness Club does, that's what we do. We hold people's hands as they go through it, whatever they're going through. Because I've had an unbelievable amount of support, the beautiful Nikki Kinsella being part of it, over the last couple of years for that reason, because I understand how in those darkest times, how beautiful it is just to have somebody not to try and make you feel better, to hold the fucking space for you while you move through whatever you've got to move through.
And that's all you
and
need.
to help you with the tools and the techniques as well, because this isn't the first time this has happened to me. This is the first time since I've been in business this has happened to me, but it used to happen to me a lot when I was really young. The self-talk was bad. And actually, I didn't realize that it was still there until this weekend. And when you're in it, and you're going down that rabbit hole, it's like, what do I do with this? Yeah. And people tell you to say, all right, look at it and go, is it the truth? So I was like, all right, is this the truth? Well, yeah, it is. It's all bad. Yeah. Actually, yes, it's all true.
In the moment, everything's shit.
Everything is bad. You cannot tell me any different. I'm a bag of shit. It's all over. That's where I was at. And actually to hear everybody else say that's normal, and the fact that you surrender to it, and what it's shown me, and we were talking earlier about, whatever you're an expert in and you feel like that's the way you should go. Well, I'm an expert in sales. We can say that, right? But is that wholly the way that I need to go? Well, after this weekend, I'm like, it's actually not wholly the way I need to go, because in order to do really well in sales, you've got to love yourself. So
the sales love coach, I told you.
You told me, yeah, you did. And I realise now, after the last week of sort of digging deep, that actually my mind is my biggest power. My mind is everything for me. It can massively hold me back. So I wouldn't call her the inner bitch. I would call her the defeatist bitch, because that is what she is. I become the most defeatist person in the world. And that's exactly what that's what she is. So it's moving with her, I guess.
That's so beautiful what you've just said. But look at what you've just done as well. Like, I messaged you yesterday, didn't I? I was like, this is safe. It's safe for you to feel these feelings, even though they feel like shit and you want to run away from yourself, and you can't, because it's in your own head. And you've just got to be like, right, I'm gonna say the word again, but you've got to surrender and sit with it and be like, okay, are there any triggers? Where's the trigger come from? And that's what I like to use my inner bitch for sometimes, is if I'm triggered by something and I can notice it in the moment, I'm like, that reminds me of this. It's not them, it's this. It's always our shit. People are always a mirror, aren't they? We're always like, oh. And then looking at that. So a lot of my stuff comes from being bullied. Don't be seen. Don't show off. Don't show up. And even this weekend, last week, everything that, we've done. And like, Daisy's the youngest firewalk instructor in the world. It's just fucking gorgeous. Watching her, she showed me how to be brave. But then there's but, and I've noticed how many times I've been saying that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay, it's just.
That's it, right? I did a post on my social media last week that started with ignore the haters, because that's the trend, right? Ignore the haters. And I put, okay, you can if you want to. Actually, what I'd invite you to do is look at what they're saying and why the fuck it's triggering you. Because if you're upset about the haters, there's a fucking reason why. And if you don't look at the reason why, you're always going to get upset by whatever the haters say.
Exactly.
So actually, I'm going to invite you next time you get a hater to look at what they're saying and work out why the fuck it's upsetting you. Because when you do that, then they can say what the fuck they like and it doesn't bother you.
You took
Then
your
you
power
really
back.
can ignore them, right?
Yeah.
No.
But it's just a, you know, just going, no, I'm not going to listen to you. You're cutting yourself off from an immense amount of growth, expansion, learning.
That's where the growth always is, though, isn't it? It's in the cesspit of the shit that you're feeling, and you know you're gonna come out the other side, but you're like, oh my God, I can't do this. I'm so scared, and bleh, and I'm shit, and this isn't good enough, and I've got not enough money, and not enough this, and we go into lack. And normally when we go into lack, our inner bitch is like, oh hello, why are we here? What haven't you got? Why are you shit? And I'm just reading a list. I'm doing beliefs this week in my Realign Your Life course. And in a nutshell, like our belief system is formed by the age of 7, isn't it? Our subconscious mind. So when we're asking people like, what does this mean? Or what's that? And we just are like little sponges taking everything in. So we believe things that aren't true, like Father Christmas is real, the Easter Bunny, you know, there's a bogeyman under the stairs, all things like that. But then we also believe the other things that people say to us, you know, you're not ever going to amount to anything. It's nothing to do with you. You're so disappointing. You talk too much. You're so noisy. You're too needy. I've just got a big list here. Money's the root of all evil. Rich people are greedy. We're just unlucky.
You're insignificant. You don't matter. We could add to this list.
Oh, forever.
People don't want you. You're not good enough. Blah, blah, blah. All of that.
You were a
Yeah.
mistake. All of the things, like, and as a little tiny human, we then carry that into our adult life, don't we? And it shows up in all different ways, in all different chakras, like our throat, our solar plexus, our root, our sacral, all of them, our heart. You know, we just feel never enough.
Well, for me, in my gut.
Yeah.
Right?
Right? Yeah.
What's the meaning of that? When you looked at it in the book, what did it say?
It's insecurity.
And does that resonate?
Yeah. When you start to really dig deep. I'm not even sure I'm ready to go into that in detail, to be fair, but yeah, it definitely resonates. And also, if you look back at certain triggers or people that have triggered me, it's all about wanting to be accepted, I guess, wanting to be significant, wanting to be, wanting connection.
For anyone that reads, our book is out on the 13th of September. She Empowers, and Narissa's chapter will explain why, like, all of these things and the insecurity and like where it's all come from. And just, it's such a beautiful, funny, you know, it's light-hearted, but it's deep, and it's like, fucking hell, you know, when you look at your timeline, I don't know if anyone's ever done this, like from when you were born, all the things that have happened, good and bad. And this can show you like what a fucking badass warrior you are, because all the shit you've been through. And it can really help you go, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Because like what Jo said, you know, we don't generally want to look at stuff, but if we can and give ourselves permission to go back to that, then we can help ourselves heal by looking at the things that we've not wanted to look at before. But we've got to.
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer that, and it is a cliche and a catchphrase, and people get shouted out on social media for it. No, but I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. You don't fucking know what that reason is at the time that it's happening. But I can look back, like Nikki says, I can look back on things in my life now And I can absolutely see why they happened. I couldn't at the time, and I couldn't for fucking years afterwards, but I can now. And there's still stuff that's happened that I'm still like, I don't fucking know why you're happening, but I guess there'll be a reason at some point I'll understand. It's like the flip side of that is never knowing what's going to happen next. And that's one of the things I say on my in my work all the time, right? We never, ever, 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 never, making this point clearly, never know what's going to happen next. None of it, right? But we put all these plans and schedules and structures in place to kid ourselves that we know what's going to happen next in order to make ourselves feel safe, because the idea of not fucking knowing what's going to happen makes you feel like fucking shit, oh my God, right? But actually the truth is we never know what's going to happen next. And yet we make it through every single moment of every single day.
And it really depends, doesn't it, what kind of person you are. So if you're someone that really, one of your core needs is security and knowing what's going to happen next, then that's going to like be really uncomfortable for you. Whereas if you're someone that likes surprises and likes a little bit of like living on the edge, then okay, you might like that and it might be good, but it's really...
But again, we're talking about triggers, right? If you're I mean, I used to be deeply, deeply insecure. I've probably got a little bit of that left. But so that would scare the shit out of me. I was an absolute perfectionist. I was, highly, highly anxious. Needed to know, I used to be an event manager. I used to plan everything to within the nth, like to the absolute nth degree. So that I knew what was going to happen. But the truth was, every time I put an event on, you have absolutely no fucking idea. It doesn't matter how prepared you are, how scheduled you are, how many details you've dotted the I's and crossed the T's on. You do not know what is going to happen, ever. And so if that scares the shit out of you, first of all, I'm going to ask you to remember that you've got through every single day without knowing what the fuck's going to happen next, whether you've admitted it or not. And secondly, I'm going to ask you, like we just said about ignoring the haters, look at why that makes you feel scared. Because that's the work. That's where you need to put your focus.
Yeah. And it's taken me 18 months to get to the point of going, okay, yeah, that's it then. There they are.
We've peeled a couple of layers off you, haven't we, over the last 18 months?
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, bit of onion, there we go, let's go.
Yeah, just a bit. But it's so important. The work is so important. And Jo, what you're doing is absolutely phenomenal. And I can't wait to see your business grow. And I think there's so much opportunity. I mean, if you could get into a load of corporates with your happiness club, it would be absolutely amazing and so good for them and so proactive as well. People in corporates, they want to know that they care for their employees. They want their employees to know that they're cared for, that they're held. This is such a great tool to do that. And I'm excited.
Yeah, and that's my goal, is to get us into as many corporates as we can for that reason. And a lot of corporates wax lyrical about understanding that their people are their biggest asset. And then they do fuck all to look after them. So that's the area that's the hurdle that we're up against at the moment.
It's making it more than a box ticking exercise, isn't it? So, if you're listening to this and your corporate says that they look after you and you think they could do more, get in touch because absolutely, this is a way to really, really look after your employees and to actually put them first and not just bloody say it, to be honest. And I spent, I could go on about this for years, for the next year, let's be honest. I spent 22 years working in corporate and they were very good at looking after their people, but I know damn well, really, for every corporate, it is box ticking exercise. It's just how well they tick that box, and this is a quality service that really, really goes in deep and really will help to keep your employees at work, to keep them happy, to keep them healthy and keep them on track. Simple.
Amen.
That better than myself. Yeah, nice one.
Where can we find you, Jo, or where can people find you?
So the best place is our website, really, which is thehappinessclub.co.uk, because it's got we have quite a range of services as well as the membership. So everything's on that one website.
Amazing. Well, I will put that in the show notes, 100%.
We've just got one more thing before we go, is to ask a question.
Yes. Well, we've got 2 questions for you that we ask every single guest when they come onto our podcast.
Okay.
I did say our podcast then, didn't I, Nick?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is ours. It is ours, not mine. Sorry.
I'm
I
joking.
consider myself told off.
Oh, you wait till after.
What?
So, I know, yeah. Don't get excited. Right. First question. What keeps you calm?
What keeps me calm?
Yeah.
Honestly, my breath. Slow, deep breaths. If I ever need to feel calm. But in the light of what we've been saying, I actually let myself feel the uncalm first before I move through to the calm. But you can't beat a slow, deep breath, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And you know what? Calmness isn't our natural state sometimes, and that's all right, isn't it? And the irony is, right, obviously my company's called Calm and Chilled, right? That is the polar opposite of me. So that's why I did it. There we go. Nick, your question.
What makes you pea glitter, Jo?
Oh man, God, so many things. My children, my dog, my cats, my home, the experience of life, even when it's shit. But most of all, I would say when somebody that I have helped messages to tell me that I've helped them, especially if I'm completely fucking unaware that I've helped them. If it's something that I'm, it's not, if it's a one-to-one client, that's awesome. I love it that they message me and say, hooray, thank you so much, brilliant. But if it's someone I've don't even fucking know on social media who messages me and says, oh my God, that makes me pea glitter massively.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for being here. I've loved this morning. Absolutely loved it.
Thank you
Brilliant.
so much.
No problem. We absolutely love having you. So if you are not following us on Instagram, go follow us. Keep Calm Pea Glitter. Obviously hit that subscribe button as well. And we'd love some comments. I said this on the last one. We both said this and we did get a comment. So please send us a DM on Insta or just comment on the Spotify website. Brilliant. That would be amazing. We'd love to hear from you. So any comments about what you feel about the show or anything really, any feedback would be gratefully appreciated. Right.
And go follow Jo.
Yes, go follow Jo. Thank you, Jo.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon. Love you.
See you soon. Love you. Bye.